Peace, everybody. I'm with my brother,
Peace.
Normski.
Yes, yes. Rocksteady crew, yes.
Right, Normski, I wanted to share with you the first time that I seen you is when you had the hat and you came out doing the robot. Dun, dun,
Yeah,
dun, dun, and I seen you do the pose.
Yeah.
I was bugging out on that because I'm from the West Coast.
Oh, yeah, yeah. The West Coast is interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I seen your style, and this guy, it's electric boogie.
Yes,
like
yes.
on the West Coast, we never called it electric boogie.
Nah, it was different. It was completely different.
Right. Can you share with me what did you get inspired by to come up with your version of popping?
Well, you know what was crazy, because as a young person, I actually was dancing classical. I was a classical dancer, and then when the art came to New York City, I was real young. I was, I don't know how young I was. I could have been 7, 8,
Okay.
9, and so what happened is I used to see a lot of like the Worm or Egyptian, tut and stuff like that. So I felt like as a young kid when I saw popping in the hood, and then even California was inspirational because they were doing the locking, the hard popping. That wasn't really my swaggy.
Okay.
So I tried to do something completely different. So as a young person, I think the first time you actually saw the wave like that, from my standpoint was, in a video that I did years ago when we introduced, there was a lot of hard popping, but in New York we had a different swag, so it was more waving than locking and popping, and it was about how we moved the hats, how we swag with the hat, and how it moved us in isolation and different body parts and different movement. It wasn't really. I don't really think they was doing that. I can't really say for sure.
Okay.
But I know that as a young person, you sort of create your own movement. You create your own style. You don't want to be part of something that's not yours.
Okay.
So I tried breakdancing too. I was with some of the best of them. Right. At that time, I was raised with Ken Swift was from my block. So when you hear Rocksteady Park, that's 99th Street, right?
I thought it was 98th in Amsterdam, or was it 99?
It's like both. It's
Okay.
99th in Amsterdam. It's in between 98th and Amsterdam. It's right there. The whole park, the whole circumference is the park. So Rocksteady and even Flip Rock from New York City Breakers. See, that's why those groups are so legendary, because Flip Rock was part of that. And even what London is doing today out here, bringing us together, preservation of art. All of those guys, right? The epicenter for breakdancing, the epicenter of electric boogieing was really Rocksteady Park for our vicinity. So who do you have from there? You have Frosty Freeze, you have Flip Rock, New York City Breakers, you have Ken Swift, right? And you have Devious Doze. You have some of the most pioneer. You have Bill Glass, one of the graffiti artists. You have some who did El Tigre, the tiger, in graffiti. So
Okay.
it was a real culture created there. So you didn't really have time to play games on innovation. And right from the 108th Street, you have Harlem. And so Harlem had a swaggy breakdance style. You had Larry Love, you had John, you had a lot of different artists that was doing their thing. And so for me, I was in an epicenter. So I had to really either be innovative or I was gonna get ousted out. I was gonna get bumped off, and I didn't really have time for that.
Right.
I wasn't really playing with that.
So I'm sorry. A lot of people's introduction was the movie Flashdance when we seen it with the hat.
Yeah.
How did you feel the first time that you seen yourself up on the screen?
Well, I was so young, you know what I'm saying? I just felt it was a beautiful thing. I didn't know the gravity of it. So when I went to see the movie or whatever like that, I was like, wow, this I thought it was incredible. I thought it was amazing, but I didn't know the gravity it would have on the culture. And how it inspired so many people, because I think that was probably the first major motion picture. I mean, you had Wild Style out there, and that's Rocksteady too. That the foundation of that was Rocksteady, and also a lot of people who circumferenced that film was also part of. There was 3 dominant groups. Rocksteady, New York City Breakers, Dynamic Rockers. I think when I look back on time, I have a deep love and respect for all of those entities who really brought innovation to the world of breakdancing.
Right. When it comes to the West Coast, was there anybody when you was popping that kind of like struck your mind that you would have heard, maybe like Animation, Poppin' Pete, Boogaloo Sam?
You know, all of those guys, everyone that you just mentioned,
Right.
Sugar Pop. But I really didn't really mess with that style because I felt like, for me, you know, at that one point, Fable, some of our legends, Wiggles, I saw they went to the West Coast, and that kind of like wasn't my thing.
Oh,
you know
okay.
what I'm saying? Because and then I'm also guilty of that. Later on, I found myself doing things that was hard popping and not isolation and not like, you know, so the culture, it was like a cultural diffusion, and that kind of like took me out of like an element because that style wasn't really my style, and me too was guilty of sort of like in the later part of my life sort of endorsing that style. And I saw that in my transition. I saw that even in what they playing today when we dance at the Kennedy Center.
Okay.
I found myself, you know, not sort of doing their style, but emulating a large part of what Cali was doing.
When you were doing the lock-in?
They were saying like California was this. But when I look back in time, I wish that I just stayed with the New York City cloth.
Okay.
Because, and once I realized that I lost that cloth, I sort of lost a love for.
Oh, I see. Is that kind of like the reason at that time? Were you a part of Rocksteady when B Street came out? Because you wasn't in the battle scene.
Yeah, no. So I was, and I feel like at that time, Lady Blue managed it. She was a sweetheart. Rocksteady was there. You had Legs there, you know, and there was a major battle that I had. It was Fable. It was Wiggles, and I came ahead of that in it was a Mr. Magic at the Roxy's Club, and I proved that whatever style I was working with was superseding things. It was